I have a problem with with the white racist. I'm sorry. I have a problem with the white liberal. That's who I have a problem with. The white liberal. I appreciate how a lot of their channels they are speaking out against uh, white racism in their own race, in their own communities, and I really, really appreciate that. I really do. I really do. They are amazing people. The men and the women, the white men and the white women who stick their neck out and will call out the racism amongst their people, primarily in America. You know, you will have the rise of Tizzy and T. This is where a lot of them are coming from. I guess they're piggybacking off of him and Tom. Is it Ford? That's his name, from Chicago. And I'm starting to see academics on YouTube, white women, and some white men, and some white people from the South that are calling out the white racism that comes from their people, that is directed not only to black people but Hispanics and Arabs and anybody that is just basically non-white. And I really appreciate that. I really do. What I don't appreciate is how they ignore the problem with unfettered, unchecked immigration. This is what I don't appreciate. This is a problem that is dangerous for all of us. Case in point, this the riot that happened just this recently over there in Ireland. And if I remember correctly, I may be wrong, so don't quote me. I think that they said that he was a black African migrant that raped. I don't know if it was a child or a woman, right? They don't talk about that on their channels. They don't do this. I don't know why they don't do this. You are a white man, you are a white woman, and you don't talk about the victims of your own people. But yet you scream the loudest about Trump and ICE and due process for everybody and anybody. What about due process? What about due process? What about national security? White liberal. What about national security? What about you not talking about the simple fact that we've had quite a few of these migrants raping and killing white women in America? Why don't y'all talk about this? Why don't you talk about that your ass could be next? While you're sitting here screaming for due process for people that just jump over the fence, why don't you ever talk about the white women who get killed or raped by some of these people? Why don't you ever talk about this? Is a problem. This is a problem. This is an ever-present problem. This happened just this recently in Ireland. I think this was last week. And they started, the Irish people started burning shit down. They're tired. This is all over Europe. Right? What's wrong with y'all, man? I don't understand this shit. I don't understand this shit. You could at least make a damn video and say, Houston, we have a problem. This problem needs to be addressed and solved. I don't know what is their fascination with everybody needs due process. I don't know what is their fascination with this. I really don't. I really don't get it. If you're here illegally, you get your court date. Or listen, I'm beyond court dates. I know it sounds fucked up. I know it does. I know it sounds fucked up. I know some of these people are getting the short end of the stick. I get it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that they're not. Some of them are. But some of them, when you look at the stories, right? Just like Tom Homan said, they're going to twist these stories. They're going to pull at your heartstrings. They're going to make it seem like the president is so heartless and yada yada yada. Then you're going to have people like this what's it? His name is Wendell Williams, I think his name was. Famous black actor. He's on a lot of different TV shows. He said that they're only taking black people. That is a lie. I have seen them take Hispanics. I've seen them take some European nationals as well too. Not in any large numbers. It seems to be more Hispanics than everybody else. I've seen them take some Chinese nationals, even out of Western New York. I've seen their faces online. Yes, every time they get detained or arrested, they put their faces online. Right? But you know what I see? I had a wake-up call because I never experienced homelessness like this. You know what I'm saying? I had a brief period where I lost my spot for about a month, and somebody helped me to get on my feet. Stuff happens. You move on. That was the only time in my life. Praise God. Right? But talking to the woman on my job, who is a liaison to all of these housing services, homeless services, crisis services, shelters, when she's sitting here telling me that all of these places have been at capacity for over a year, and how there are people that are literally sleeping outside. It's wintertime now in New York State, okay? I see a lot of Americans sleeping out. I wouldn't say a lot. I would say I did my walk around in my community recently, and I was just taking a stroll, couple of minutes around the block, get some fresh air, clear my head. And there were some older white women, older white men sleeping behind dumpsters in a shopping center near me. You see, Americans, a lot of things are too damn high because there's too many people here that don't need to be here. There's too many people that they need to go back home. And we have too many Americans that they want to play the violin 24 hours a day. You got a lot of black Americans who are playing that bullshit as well too. I have unsubbed from a couple of black Americans over that nonsense because, you know, um, you got to worry about your own people. There's a lot of our people that are not doing good right now. When you see the over 300,000 black women that lost their jobs this year, and there's going to be more than that. Black men and black women lost their jobs, by the way, federal jobs. A lot of them are not going to go back. A lot of these federal workers just recently resigned. They said a lot of these federal workers are now doing what? They're going into the food pantry. I used to be a federal worker one time in my life, and I wasn't making a lot of money. I made $23 an hour. You know, it's not like federal workers are rich and federal workers are balling, you know, unless you have a really good degree. It's not like it's not like you're doing all that great. I mean, $23 an hour ain't bad, but you ain't rich. It was a temporary job, a 1-year job. And if you lose that job and you have nothing to fall back on, now you got to bring your ass over to unemployment. And that's not going to be a lot. You need to get back to work. And some of these people are pursuing food stamps and housing assistance if they can get some. You know, we need to worry about America. This is my problem with the white liberal. The white liberal wants to worry about the whole entire world. And the white liberal has the most extreme case of Trump derangement syndrome that I've ever seen before in my life. And they will always hit me in the comment section and say, "You must be MAGA." I'm not. I didn't vote for this man this second time. But I do support him in getting these people out of here. We need to concentrate on America. We need to concentrate on stopping all foreign aid to all governments. It needs to stop. You know, it needs to stop. Closing it out, my other problem with the white liberal Democrat is their arrogance, and they know everything and they're so dismissive. I'm right and you're wrong, and this conversation is over. This is the reason why we can never reach over the aisle and have a civil conversation. Rarely have I ever had a civil conversation, not just with a white Democrat, but with a Democrat in general of any race. A lot of these Democrats are arrogant. They think that they know everything. They think that just because they have these degrees, that they know everything, and they don't. Right? Why don't you look around in your own neighborhoods and realize that there are white people. This has been chronicled decades ago. You get white people that live in good areas, in the suburbs. They drive decent cars. They are property rich, and they are cash poor. You want to know why? Because I used to volunteer in some of these pantries. And back in the day, I used to go to these pantries myself. And it would always be these lines of white people that have nice cars. This has been going on for decades in America. And they take their lily white asses over to the food pantries. And they load up and they go right back to the suburbs because they are property rich. And they are also cash poor. Why can't we talk and be civilized and realize that I don't give a shit about these people that are here illegally or I don't know. I just don't care. I just care about Americans. That's all I give a shit about. The old people, the people that are literally sleeping on the street every single night. And there's no space for them to go into a shelter. You want to know why? Because these migrants are in these shelters too. And they need to be deported. And Americans need to be sleeping in these shelters every night. And Americans need to have food in their stomachs, regardless of your race. If you are an American, you need to come first. And these migrants need to go back home. So that's all I wanted to say. And I always want to have a conversation with these people, but the white Democrat, or any Democrat for that matter, but you cannot have a conversation with them because every conversation they have to come off with this superiority mind state. They have to come off with this, you're dumb and I know better than you. And a lot of them, I really want to punch them in their fucking mouth because of that alone, seriously. Because why are y'all like this? Why can't somebody talk to you? Why can't somebody build with you? Why do you have to see things through this we are right lens and you were wrong? Right? That's all I wanted to say for today.